Every day in South Africa, some 12 million people go hungry. It's more than a quarter of the population. Of all the 9 provinces, the Eastern Cape suffers the most from food insecurity. No single South African can sleep peacefully at night, knowing how many of their fellow brothers, sisters and children must face every day on an empty stomach. At Meals on Wheels Community Services South Africa, we're committed to making a difference in the lives of those in need. A real difference, a practical difference, an immediate difference. Here in South Africa, this non-profit organization started in the Eastern Cape in 1964. It is therefore fitting that we launch a special initiative in August 2013 to bring greater relief to people of this province. In 2012, Meals on Wheels Community Services South Africa served 2.9 million meals in the Eastern Cape at 44 service points with only 19 vehicles. With the kind assistance of Peugeot in Pinetown, KwaZulu-Natal, it was decided to almost double that capacity.
Well, this idea was born through the initiative of delivering 15 vehicles from KwaZulu-Natal to Port Elizabeth. What we thought was that since we are moving through 3 provinces, we must deliver food parcels to the most affected communities with poverty. We have done one in KwaZulu-Natal. We distributed 300 food parcels. Today we are here in Free State, Bloemfontein, Khayelitsha informal settlement, distributing 300 food parcels. We'll be proceeding tomorrow to Port Elizabeth, and we'll be delivering at Cookhouse also 300 food parcels to assist people who are affected by poverty.
Today, there are 280 Meals on Wheels branches in operation throughout South Africa. With our 50th celebration in 2014, we want to expand to more pockets of poverty where we have not had a presence before. The headquarters are in Bloemfontein. It is here at the Protea Central Hotel in the city where the convoy on its way to the Eastern Cape stopped for a day. Directors and staff attended a workshop in media communication skills. The purpose was to enhance their ability to spread the word even more effectively on how the organization contributed daily to the well-being of fellow citizens. It was presented by seasoned television and radio anchor Freek Robinson.
Therefore, you must select the facts that are important. You must help the person to make sense of it so that the person understands it and therefore believe you and support you. So you must take people through that process.
Oh man, absolutely fantastic. But I think the highlight of the trip was great.
Man, I tell you, we out in the night.
We basically make over the actual property.
In terms of meal services, I think we are the third in terms of all provincial offices.
I've done athletics before. What? I did 100 meters and 200 meters.
And that's what Meals on Wheels. Yes, I believe it.
We get our funding mostly from the public.
No, I did not.
Why?
Well, personally.
Whole pack of groceries that will last for at least 2 weeks. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, a small little river. We're not very close to it, but there is a river that runs through.
During the interview sessions, it became clear how passionate and committed the staff were about their work.
The highlight of the trip was going into those communities and handing out those food parcels. To see the appreciation on the faces of people that have absolutely nothing. They get a whole pack of groceries that will last them for at least 2 weeks is absolutely incredible.
We tend to forget that it's all lovely and well to go and revamp a school. But, you know, it's nice for the kids to walk in there and go look at a nice building. But if their stomachs are empty, freak, they're not going to learn anything. You know, there's no ways. They're concentrating on something else. And to feed them, you're going to need money to get the food into their stomachs. And that's the importance of fundraising for Meals on Wheels. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, to make sure that the funds are there so we can supply for those poorest of poor.
Going home, I appreciate every single second I have with my kids, with my mom and my dad and my grandparents. They're still alive, and I want people out there to understand how important life is.
We find sometimes when we are feeding these people who are hungry, sometimes the food finishes off before the queue is over, and you can't take that. Yeah.
I love giving back to the community. It has always been a passion of mine. I also enjoy doing accounting, so when I got a job that allows me to do both, it was a bonus for me.
Then it was time to continue the journey to Port Elizabeth. Meals on Wheels have come a long way. Initially, the focus was only on helping the elderly of our country to live out their sunset years in dignity and relative comfort. But now, it is a multifaceted welfare service, a charity in motion, really transforming lives. On their way to Port Elizabeth, the team stopped at the Khayelitsha informal settlement near Bloemfontein and delivered hundreds of food parcels to people in need. First, the dedicated staff had to unpack the food parcels. Volunteers assisted.
Firstly, I would want to say thank you very much to Meals on Wheels. This is a very appreciated outreach program to our impoverished area, Khayelitsha. This is one of the many partnerships that we would have with NGOs, with CBOs, in trying to better the conditions of our people. And I must say this time it was a totally initiative from Meals on Wheels approaching the municipality, and we just grabbed it because we couldn't just say no. And we're very appreciative, and we would hope it's not for the last time.
What Meals on Wheels actually done today is showing the community that they are a non-profit organization sharing their efforts to the whole community, whoever is poverty-stricken. This effort of giving them actually some foodstuffs is to help them with their healthy and well-being situation, and also giving them a conducive environment where they can actually go back, instill some pride to the kids at home in Khayelitsha, where we have almost 6,000 to 8,000 shacks, and people are really not having anything for sustenance. And this is actually very supportive from Meals on Wheels, and we just want to say thank you very much for that.
Meals on Wheels aim to go way beyond the distribution of food parcels. It is about helping to restore the dignity of people.
I'm happy to get this food parcel because we are struggling, we are not working. So we don't afford to buy food. We didn't even know that there are people who are willing to help us. It's very difficult because I don't even stay with my kids because of this. Because I'm not working, I can't afford to buy them food. I want to thank Meals on Wheels because they have helped us today.
Then it was time again to commence the journey to the Eastern Cape. It was only a short stopover at Colesberg just to take a break from the driving and get some rest. Having slept for only 2 hours, the team got up at midnight to leave for Port Elizabeth at 1 a.m. Final preparations for the last leg to Port Elizabeth began. Despite the long journey and lack of sleep, the drivers were in high spirits. The team stopped over in Cookhouse for an early morning drop-off. The food parcels were left with a member of the community as most people were still asleep. Break of dawn, the convoy finally reached Nelson Mandela Bay, but there was no time to rest. The vehicles had to be washed in preparation for the handover ceremony at the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University later that morning. The vehicles were lined up, ready to be handed over to the new owners. The visionary and passionate national director of MOWCS, Drina Engelbrecht, as well as the dealer principal of Peugeot Pinetown, Justin Mangan, and his sales team all flew into Port Elizabeth to take part. Ms. Kolelwa Majeke from Lita Media was the MC. Our first speaker was the MOWCS Eastern Cape Director, Henry Kachoka. He gave an overview of the history of the organization.
For a period of well over 49 years, Meals on Wheels Community Services Eastern Cape has, through its centers, service points, with voluntary assistance of mainly women and youth, has served meals and a basket of services to beneficiaries regardless of race, gender, religious affiliation, and culture. Vehicles to transport the meals to beneficiaries who are unable to come to our centers or service points have been supplied and been provided by MOWCS SA. In 2013, 2.5 million meals and 650 were delivered meals. The support we've enjoyed from the pastors of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, who have continuously served as ex-officio members, our dedicated staff and volunteers in the centers and service points, NGOs, NPOs ready and willing to work together, and the enabling environment facilitated by the local and provincial, finally the national governments, many more beneficiaries will be served, empowered, and live a better life with hope for the future. And in the light of the 15 centers that are to get mobile delivery services, panel vans or vehicles, will indeed reach more beneficiaries in the poverty pockets of the Eastern Cape, and even get to those who, due to distance, may not have had the opportunity of getting meals, thus making life better for them. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. Constrained by His love, yes, we will. I thank you.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church was instrumental in starting up the organization in 1964. Pastor Randall Gelderbloem related the devastating effects of poverty and food insecurity.
South Africa is right up in the first quarter, number 24. So at 50% living below the poverty line. So to all the role players and to the staff, a big thank you today.
Then it was the turn of Mr. Justin Mangan. He explained why Peugeot got involved.
If you don't have the wheels to get the meals, then the people aren't going to get the meals, and we're going to have a problem. That's where we come along. And so from our side, the least that we can do, and we try to do, is get you as many wheels as you possibly can for the money that you have. Yeah. If we can help you get more meals to more people more often, then that's our way of helping bless the people that we can get to.
With these new vehicles, the staff of Meals on Wheels in the Eastern Cape will be twice as effective in providing the basic needs of the most vulnerable and poorest in the province.
We are 8 carers. Each of that 8 carers have 23 clients. And their 23 clients are on treatment. And their 23 clients, some of them are on 2 treatments. It's ARVs and it's TB treatment. And you can't take that treatment on an empty stomach for long. Working with Wheels on Wheels is something, I don't know why, how can I put it? Because today there are no multi-forces.
Ms. Drina Engelbrecht also encouraged people to do more to alleviate poverty in their communities.
Poverty is ever changing. The people that need services are ever changing. This organization started its core business focusing on serving the elderly only. 49 years later, we are serving the poorest of the poor, the vulnerable, the aged, the disabled, women with children. We need to understand that maybe 49 years ago, there wasn't such a big need for services in this area. If we don't have forward thinking, we are not truly serving the poorest of the poor. We must not allow ourselves to get caught up in a comfort zone where we say, well, this is enough, we don't think we need to do more. Friends, in my lifetime, we probably would never be able to get poverty under control. So we need to know that every day brings a brand new challenge to see what can we do today to improve on what we did yesterday. Most important statement to the House would be, you need to be paying it forward every day. Yeah. Don't, because we gave you vehicles today, think it's only for this little place. Mm-hmm. Everything is about sharing and caring and paying it forward. And giving without judgment.
MOWCS prides itself in fostering good relationships with municipalities. The General Manager of the Department of Social Development in the Eastern Cape, Mr. Wandile Ngapai, said the provincial government treasured the relationship and partnership.
We as a department did not necessarily only come here to witness the handover ceremony program, but we felt we needed to come here and acknowledge, recognize and appreciate the efforts of Meals on Wheels South Africa. The partnership that we as a department, social development, enjoy today with MOWCS South Africa is to us a powerful platform on which we can together challenge and radically transform the poverty impediments that restrict human potential, particularly in this province. We are more than convinced as a department that the more we strengthen our partnership with MOWCS South Africa, the brighter the sun will shine in this province. Program Director, we want to reiterate our appreciation of the efforts and contribution made by MOWCS South Africa in this province. Thank you.
Meals on Wheels Community Services South Africa distribute millions of meals annually throughout the country, all thanks to diligent, hard-working and dedicated caregivers and volunteers. One aim during the 50th celebrations in 2014 will be to standardize all kitchens. It will make it easier to provide even more meals to the needy.
Last year we served 12 million meals, and for the past 3 years we are proud to say that we have served 33 million meals. If we come home to Eastern Cape, every month we average 257,000 meals per month. And we're excited about this, and we hope with these 15 vehicles that we have delivered today, we are going to do more. On a special note, I'd like to thank Peugeot Pinetown. Up to date, we have purchased from Peugeot Pinetown 45 vehicles. And we hope that from today onwards we'll cement our relations. On a special note as well, this is a special note. I'd like to thank the Drive the Hunger team for driving the vehicles for 1,500 kilometers.
Then it was time to hand over the vehicle keys to the various Eastern Cape branches. outside, they received the vehicles. It was a joyful occasion. It was a most successful venture. The greatest reward is the knowledge that so many more people in need in the Eastern Cape will be receiving relief. People who will be nourished to better health. People filled with more dignity, freed from daily hunger.
We recognize that the Eastern Cape is very poverty-stricken, and most of the poverty pockets are on the outskirts, and so these vehicles are really purchased to bring relief in those areas.
What has happened today from the Dockers poverty alleviation is salvation. We have been saved from all the problems that we have been going through. We have wanted to reach many people, but we didn't have wheels to do that. Today for us, we are going to reach wherever we want to reach, because we know that there is a lot of poverty out there, and we have hands and feet that are not lazy to do something for these people, but we can't reach them.
Meals on Wheels Community Services South Africa is determined to build on its success. The venture to deliver 15 vehicles to the Eastern Cape was a demonstration of that commitment. When we celebrate our 50th anniversary in 2014, we shall be opening new branches to expand our services. We are indeed charity in motion, transforming lives.